My mom put my sister in the will twice. She didn't put me in at all. She said it was a typo, both times. My mother passed away 6 weeks ago after a long and difficult battle with cancer. Despite everything she put me through over the years, I sat faithfully by her bedside during those final painful months. I held her frail hand whenever she was scared at night. I managed all her medications and doctor appointments without complaint. My sister Renee showed up exactly twice during the entire ordeal, and both times she left within an hour, claiming she simply could not handle seeing mom in that condition. When the estate lawyer called us both in for the official reading of the will, I expected the usual even split between siblings. What I received instead was complete and utter devastation. The lawyer read through the lengthy document, and my sister's name appeared constantly throughout every section. The family house went to Renee. The savings account went to Renee. The extensive jewelry collection went to Renee. The investment portfolio went entirely to Renee. I sat there in that leather chair patiently waiting for my portion to be announced. It never came. When the lawyer finally finished reading, I asked if perhaps there was more documentation to review. He looked extremely uncomfortable and flipped nervously through all the pages again. He said my name did not appear anywhere in the entire document. I actually laughed out loud because it absolutely had to be some kind of mistake. My mother would never deliberately cut me out completely after everything I sacrificed for her. The lawyer showed me the will directly, and there was Renee's name clearly listed twice for the exact same property in two completely different sections of the document. He said it appeared to be an obvious clerical error, and my name was very likely meant to be in one of those duplicate spots. Renee immediately and forcefully claimed that was definitely not any kind of error at all. She said mom specifically told her privately that the entire estate was supposed to go to her alone, and the duplicate listing was just emphasizing that important point. I called her a liar directly to her face, and she simply shrugged like she genuinely did not care whatsoever what I thought about the situation. I demanded to see any earlier version of the will that might exist in the files. The lawyer pulled up a previous version from 3 years ago, and I felt physically sick all over again looking at it. My name was completely missing from that earlier version too. Renee's name appeared prominently in both spots where siblings would typically be listed separately. Two completely different wills drafted over 3 years apart, and both times my mother supposedly made the exact same unusual typo by pure coincidence. I drove immediately to my aunt's house because I desperately needed someone in the family to tell me this situation was completely wrong and unfair. My aunt listened carefully to everything I explained and then got very quiet for a long, uncomfortable moment. She said there was actually something important I really needed to know about. She said my mother called her approximately 2 years ago, asking specifically how someone could remove a person from their will without that person finding out about it until after death. She said mom specifically mentioned being deeply disappointed in one particular daughter and wanting to properly reward the loyal one instead. My aunt assumed at the time she was just talking about some purely hypothetical situation and did not press any further for details. I asked desperately what I could have ever possibly done to make my own mother that disappointed in me. My aunt stared down at the floor and said quietly, it was apparently about Daniel. Daniel was my ex-husband who I divorced 5 years ago after discovering his horrible affair with a coworker. My mother absolutely adored Daniel from the very beginning. She thought he was the perfect husband and blamed me entirely when our marriage fell apart so dramatically. She accused me of not trying hard enough to save things and being too focused on my career instead of properly supporting my husband through difficulties. She said I humiliated the entire family by airing dirty laundry publicly during the messy divorce proceedings. I told my aunt I simply told the truth about what Daniel did to our marriage. My aunt nodded slowly and said that was exactly the problem in my mother's eyes. She said Daniel actually reached out to my mother shortly after the divorce was finalized, and they secretly stayed in regular touch ever since. She said mom felt genuinely sorry for him and believed his version of events completely over mine.